Good morning. Now that Oregon has its legalized psilocybin, and there's going to be selling it, the retail sales are going to start soon, and it's going to be completely legal for adults um, to take psilocybin. And so maybe you're one of those adults that are considering it. So I'm going to share my experience with you. And I guess it's sad that I even have to make this video. So I'm 73 years old. So that means during the 60s, mid 60s, I was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. And that was the time of Timothy Leary, and he did his experiments. I believe it was at Harvard, with um, I believe he actually did use psilocybin as well as LSD, and there's really no difference as far as the the effects. And well, let's see. That's I guess that's around close to 60 years ago. So so how soon we forget. And a lot of Americans um, were seduced by Mr. Larry, turn on, tune in, drop out, and I was one of them. And uh, and psychedelics were all the rage back then. And I took LSD more than once, and so I want to just issue. Many of the people from that area are now dead, you know, and and some of them never really recovered from the drug problems they had at that time. So I count myself lucky to be a survivor of all that. And and I thank God for that. And I'm just gonna you hear these psychiatrists, these psychologists, they're touting uh, psilocybin as a cure for things like alcoholism. They have no idea what they're talking about, and they don't know what it does to people, what it can do to people. And and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to give you a specific warning. And of course, it's up to you whether you want to pay attention or you don't want to pay attention. I can't tell you how many times I took LSD. I lost count, but you know, I don't know. Like a lot of people, if I had to guess, I really don't know. 25, 40 times, something like that. But I'll tell you exactly, and you hear people talk about, oh, yes, you have religious. Uh, Timothy Leary used to say that too. You have a religious experience or a mystical experience. And I'm going to tell you exactly what can happen to you if you take psychedelics. Now, the psychologists, the psychiatrists, they don't understand it, but here's what can happen. Um, uh, First of all, any sane, rational thinking person, um, you have to be a little bit out of your mind to even consider, oh, yes, I'm gonna go take some drugs to have a spiritual experience. So that's first of all. But let me tell you what can happen. And the shrinks don't know this. The psychiatrists don't know this. The 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 psychologists don't know this. But what can happen when you take these? They're forbidden chemicals, really. They're forbidden fruit, really. What can happen is a doorway can open in your mind, and entities that are evil, that are not good, they can get inside of you through that experience. Now you may think I'm crazy and that I took too much LSD and I don't know what I'm talking about, but I assure you I do. And I'm warning you, they don't know about that. They're advertising this like as if it was some kind of harmless experience. No, 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 no. It's not a harmless experience. And you put yourself in grave danger to your soul. It may change it may change your whole life, your whole destiny with what happens to you. It's not something that you can consider. Now I'm going to read you something. Okay, and um, this is from a Catholic exorcist who did know what he was talking about. And his name was Malachi Martin. He wrote me a letter some time back. It's in this book, Up from Down, that I wrote. And I'm not trying to sell you the book. You can buy it if you want to, but I'm not. That's not really my intention here. But I'm going to read you something that he wrote, and you consider it, and I hope you can consider yourself warned. Uh, Malachi Martin was once on the Art Bell show, and he wrote me this letter, and I've included it in my book here. He says, "Yes, as I mentioned on Art Bell, I'll read it up here so I can. Looks like I'm looking at you while I read it. Yes, as I mentioned on Art Bell, possession can occur as a result of drug or alcohol addiction. It opens a doorway into the soul. The will becomes extremely weak due to its desire for a drink or a drug. This weakness and compulsion for addictive chemicals allows evil spirits an avenue by which they may enter a person." So there that he says it, the 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 use of these things like LSD, like psilocybin, can open a doorway into your soul, and something can get inside you, and it may be very, very, very hard. It may be impossible for you ever to get rid of it. So you you consider yourself warned. If you want to consider me a madman, go right ahead. But I feel uh, uh, I feel a need to issue a warning out there, and it's the voters in their ignorance approved this in Oregon. The state is now regulating the sale of it. It's going to be sold retail soon. People are going to be lining up to take trips on psilocybin with guided therapists who hold your hand, and it's the 1960s all over again, and that's very, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Thank you for watching. Forward this video to anybody you know that might be considering doing that.